What up, what up, what up, internet? Who you are, where you be, where you at, what you see. This is Pop Cult Parent, your favorite podcast coming to you live from the 978, straight from Beverly Hills Broadcasting, because we're talking about a great movie today, Axel F. And I'm one of your hosts, Mark MF Jones, and I'm joined by...
This is Niels RY.
All right. I don't know. I always add that. I don't know.
You adding lyrics to the
I don't know. Just
to the
that
instrumental?
that feels right. It just feels right to me.
Necessary. And this is Shannon, aka I didn't realize you couldn't fly a helicopter. Otherwise, I'd have come up with a different idea.
Yes.
Best part of the movie, definitely.
Yes.
We'll get into it. But yeah, we are talking about Axel F, the fourth Beverly Hills Cop movie. If you don't know what Beverly Hills Cop is, I don't know, what are you, a robot, or you just been born? Whatever. It is the juggernaut franchise that launched Eddie Murphy into stardom, into being a household name, being a worldwide movie star. Started in the 80s, and this is the fourth movie, and we're going to get into it and talk about it. And this movie came out on Netflix, I think, a couple weeks ago, fellas?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to get into that. But before we do, we're going to venture on to the other side of LA, because a phenomenon has been taking over this summer, fellas. It is the summer of Not Like Us. This thing is everywhere. You can't escape it. Poor defenseless Drake. No one's seen or heard of Drake since I was giving my kids milk this morning and Drake's picture was on the carton. It's like, have you seen me? He's gone. But like Nels, we were talking about it. I think we should talk about this because it does take place in LA, same as Beverly Hills Cop. So let's just talk about Not Like Us, the phenomenon that has been the Not Like Us summer of 2024. Who would like to start?
I would love to start. So I would love to start. I have so many thoughts, feelings, and reactions to Not Like Us. First of all, like, this is the song of the summer.
The jam, dog.
This song is the song of the summer. It was like, Mark, I think we like talked one time, and you're like, the song is all right. And he's like, you asked, why is this getting played so much? And I have some philosophical reasons why this song is the banger that it is. Here's a few things. One, in its simplest and purest form, it's a mustard beat. All right. And mustard makes bops.
Mustard
all right.
Yep.
First and foremost, mustard makes bops. Now, it's been a couple years since Mustard had some bangers, but Mustard makes bangers. So when DJ Mustard had a song and Kendrick was on it, that already is like, it's gonna get played often. So that's number one. And number two, there were call and responses to the bop. Like, there were several times where there was audience participation.
Yes.
And then number three, I don't think universally that everybody hates Drake. I do not think. You don't become like the number one rapper for like 10 because everyone hates you. The issue is that Drake does not accept his lameness.
Yeah.
If Drake accepted that there were aspects of him that was lame, this wouldn't be a competition. Drake would have won. Mm-hmm. What's happening is that Kendrick is calling out Drake's lameness, and Drake's like, no,
you're wrong. You're wrong.
No, I'm cool. I'm cool guy. Everyone likes me. And Kendrick's like, no.
No one likes you.
Brother, you're lame.
Hey, wake up call, buddy. No one likes you. And we all think you're lame.
And
you're just talented. That's the only thing.
And this is the anthem of being like, nope. You're not lame. Like that, buddy. You are not like that.
And, yo, it's so funny you say that, because Childish Gambino fully came into this thing accepting his lameness. Yeah. First big thing to hit the scene, Freaks and Geeks, basically like, I'm a nerd. Hey, Gambino isn't, like, this is who I am. Fully embracing his dorkiness, his, pop culture interests, and like, look at him now. Look at this guy.
Beloved.
He's a lion. Beloved.
He's won Song of the Year
with Beyonce.
And I don't even know if singer or rapper is the first thing on his IMDb page, like on his Wikipedia. And he has won a Song of the Year. You know what I'm saying?
So he's Simba. He's Lando Calrissian.
He's the coolest black man in space. All right.
Like that's what happens when you embrace your lameness, right? You fall into it and you grow from it. But not Drake. Drake came into this and was like, no, I'm gonna prove them wrong. No, I'm the cool one, right, guys? No, oh yeah, Drake, you got it.
I don't even think people in Canada accept Drake is cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's bad. There are people who are partying at the Chinese takeout spot that Kendrick shouted out in one of his diss songs. They are selling Kendrick dishes in that Chinese takeout spot that he shouts out. Do you know how disrespectful that is? This is my look. If I'm Drake, I'm like, this is my town, and you have a Kendrick Lamar dish.
He's at like, my Chinese six god. What's happening here? You know when like in like It's a Wonderful Life, and they always do that like this is what life would have been like if you weren't born. I feel like that's what Drake is experiencing right now everywhere he goes, and everyone's very happy and having a good time. He's like, no, Clarence, I want to be born again. I want to be the sixth god again. He's like, oh, well, Drake, you had a wonderful life until you messed with Kendrick.
Yo, I feel like it's either that or like Butterfly Effect. Like, y'all remember? He's like those are the two experiences. It's like, yes.
Drake just kept going back and just kept getting worse and worse. It's like he went back. What was the joint with Future? That joint came out and he's like, went back again, Meet the Grams. He's like, all right, one more time.
So he clearly went back 5 times. This is all his fault.
Like doing another callback is like who's worse at trying to fix the past through time travel, him or Cable? Cable.
I think Drake's is worse.
No.
I think Drake is worse. Y'all,
Drake shows up to Genosa, run! He's coming! They're like, what is that sound? They not like us. Get out of here! And the mutants are like, that's kind of tight. That's kind of.
Do y'all think? And if you're wondering, my answer is yes to the question I'm about to ask y'all. Do you think this is Kendrick Lamar's biggest song?
Like numbers wise? Definitely. I feel like
numbers wise. Yeah, not like his best song. I mean his biggest song. And the reason I ask is this. DMX's #1 song is Party Up.
Yeah.
It's not, if you ask a DMX fan, if you ask like a regular Joe Schmo, they're not gonna say Party Up is his best song. But it is his biggest song. Like it is his biggest song that he's done. I think this is Kendrick's biggest song.
Yeah. Nels, it is everywhere. It like I swear I heard this on like a commercial. No,
it was the Nickelodeon's Teen's Choice Award commercial.
Wow, Nickelodeon really A minor, like they really Nickelodeon's like, hey, we want to smoke, play.
But yeah, it's there.
All the focus is on Drake. Play it, keep it.
It's there. Bar mitzvahs, quinceañeras,
dog.
Like middle
everywhere.
School graduations.
And Nels, Nels, we were talking. This is what this whole thing terrifies me, right? This terrifies me because the fact that you could do this to a man and just Thanos the hell out of someone and also make it everyone's bop for the summer, high school graduations, proms, like Shannon, bar mitzvah. There is a black family having a 102nd birthday for the grandma, and they're playing Not Like Us at that 102nd birthday. Dominoes, barbecue.
Like, get up, Granny, and she like, they not like us.
Like
that's devastating. Look at Granny go.
Look at her go, grandma. Go. She like, ooh. There's octogenarians out there hearing They Not Like Us and be like, ooh, getting up like, oh, that's my song right there. Like that is devastating. You can do that to a man like that. I was like, God, I would never. When I heard Meet the Grams, I was like, someone's asking me, what do you think about that? I was like, if I was a father, that would devastate me to know that song is out there about me and my family. But then to have Not Like Us exist, just to exist for all time, bruh.
I live my life. After Not Like Us came out, I have lived every day of my life to never be put in that position. That is my worst fear. I don't want anyone on this planet to hate me that much to be that creative.
Yo, yes.
I refuse, yo. I look, if I ever did you wrong, I'm sorry. All right, I'm sorry. Let's talk about it.
Don't make Not Like Us.
Please do not talk to DJ Busted and lay that bop. Like, please, let's talk about it. I apologize.
But also, I'm like, what's so wild about it? Like, he united all the gangs in LA, like so that alone is worth some type of
the entire city.
And not only was it like, oh yeah, like I brought them together to be like, oh, they're not gonna fight each other, or nobody's gonna die tonight. But no, I brought them together. They are on stage dancing together. That is how I brought them together.
Like it's like
because we don't like you, because we think you're lame. We are united as a city because we think you're lame.
Dude, it's like the end of Meteor Man. It's like the Bloods and the Crips holding hands, taking a picture with the mayor and Kendrick. They all got their hands on top of each other. And the key of the city goes to Kendrick Lamar. And Drake shit's back there like, but I tell you this. This is how you get supervillains. Like, this is how you get supervillains. And Drake, away like the Grinch, away soon Whoville. So,
Do you know the wild thing though is, and you see this in the video, and Kendrick mentioned it a few times, Kendrick has 5 more diss songs on Drake that he has not released yet. When he's like 1, 2, 3, 5 plus 5, it means he has 5 more diss songs just in the chamber. So I don't know if Drake is gonna say anything, because you don't even know what the next song is. This is the 5th song. You don't even know what the other 5 are.
You gotta get your Usher on and you let it burn. I'm a big fan of King of the Hill, and there was an episode where Bobby's friend, she gets her period, and Hank's talking to Bobby about women being on the period, and he said, Bobby, sometimes it's like a tire fire, and you just gotta let it burn. Just like you gotta just sit there and let it burn. Like, that's like Drake. Don't say nothing. Don't do nothing. You just you're gonna have to take this. You're gonna have to like for your own safety. You're gonna have to just like take this one.
He's gonna rebrand. Like, we see what happened with Machine Gun Kelly, right? He's a rapper now. He's a rock and roll guy. Well, nobody was beefing with Post Malone, but still, Post Malone did a rebrand. So, but either way, I'm just mentioning those because Drake will surely do a rebrand. Like, so we know Drake is a rapper / R&B singer. He's gonna probably come out with some type of punk rock album, indie soul, something like that. He's gonna do something like that for like an album or two, and then probably try to get back and rap, because there is nothing you can do here. I mean, unless you just truly bite it, like say Meek Mill got destroyed, and he was like, okay, some time went by, and I'm just still rapping.
He went to jail.
That's true.
He went to prison,
and that's true. And so I guess that gives you a more like street cred. So
back to back, straight to jail.
Yeah. So Drake either has to rebrand with a different sound and musical genre, or he's got to go to jail. Like, that's.
But Shannon, like, talking about Meek Mill, it's like when you compare those two, because back to back, that was a banger too. That was like a summer joint.
Sure was.
But here's the thing: as long as Meek wasn't in the club, he was safe. He's like, because in the club, back to back, it's like, oh man, no, just hey, don't go in the club for the rest of the summer. You're gonna be all right, big boy. Drake can't hide anywhere. I'm putting it on wax right now. They Not Like Us is gonna be in the next DreamWorks animation or Despicable Me trailer. Like, it's gonna be like DreamWorks this summer. They Not Like Us. They not like, and the little makeup. It's gonna be in trailers. It's gonna be in a movie before the end of the year. We're probably gonna hear it in a TV show before the end of the year. Political season, I guarantee you, fellas, one of the candidates will play it at the end of the convention. When the balloons come down,
it's got to be Kamala Harris. Like,
I'm telling you,
it's gotta be. I would be so upset if she don't do that. That's gotta happen.
Someone's gonna do it.
And to the constituents who wear red, Mustard, what do you have to say?
But yo, can we talk about the video real quick?
Yeah.
I thought the video was a work of art.
It was beautiful.
It was beautiful the way it opened. All the LA I say points of contact, but all the LA heads and just landmarks. I was like, yo, this is dope. And then fellas, I just think the chef's kiss on this whole thing, his family see walking in the living room, not in like a mansion, just like in an old school wood panel, wool carpet living room, old school, just see walking it out. I was like, yo, Drake, he got you, Playboy.
Hold on, before we go there, because that's a conversation. Before we go there, I just want to talk about the audacity of having DeMar DeRozan at the concert and in the music video. DeMar was the star player for the Toronto Raptors. He was in State Farm commercials with Drake. He was wearing OVO jerseys for Drake. Like, they had worked with each other. They had put money in each other's pockets. And DeMar's like, no. I think he's lame too. And this guy's from my hometown. I will gladly be in all your stuff. Dang, man, that's tough.
Which is a beautiful sort of full circle because, he was in Toronto, and obviously there's a line. I'm glad D Rose left. Y'all didn't deserve him either. And now he's back in California. I mean, I know he's far. I don't know how far Sacramento is from Compton, but still, he's back in Cali. So that's just a beautiful full circle. Like, I was in Toronto with y'all. Now I'm finally back in Cali, and I'm dissing it.
And then
going back to, are you ready to talk about?
I was just gonna say real quick, and then also after this part, I paused the video. I was like, "Whoo!" Probably a minor, and he on the hot scotch. I was like, "Bruh." Like, if it wasn't for the side of good, I'd be like, Kendrick's evil. Like, if it wasn't for the culture, I'm like, we gotta watch this guy. This guy is freaking, he's up to something. He's devastating. He's got a plan to destroy the world. Because, like, to be that diabolical is insane. Insane.
Do you wonder what this, like, a reflection of us as a society, that we are just watching this beat down and being like, ooh, let's see it again. Let's talk about it. Like, he is on the ground on top of Drake, punching him relentlessly in the face, and we're just watching.
It's
this is
that scene in Fight Club where Edward Norton's just beating that dude, and they're like, yeah, and he just keeps going, and they're like, he just keeps going, and everyone's like, is anyone gonna stop this? That my bad, Shannon, but that's the only reason why America has it. We're all like, is anyone gonna stop this? But we're all here like, mustard on the beat, So we get distracted. We're like, oh, okay.
And to open it up a little bit, I think I know a little bit why why we're all loving it. So obviously, for the main reason that we're all saying, him getting destroyed by the disc, but I think because it speaks to a larger thing as well. Because some of the stuff I'm seeing is like, sure, Kendrick Lamar does not like Drake, and he's told him, I hate the way you walk, the way you dress,
the way you walk, the way you talk. I hate
the way you sneeze, and but also it's like, I think he's sort of looking at Drake as this is the personification of like what the, I guess, larger capitalism is doing to hip hop, where it's like, look, like, I'm from these places, I give back to the community, I'm this, I'm that. And yes, he's a big name, but I'm pretty sure if you would say, okay, even at the least, who sells the most, who has the most money, Drake, unquestionably. And so therefore it's like, look, you're taking all of these resources, all these things from the community, and we hate you for that because you have the bigger name, all of that. And then I'm trying to think, there was one.
He's like, yo, I hate what you stand for.
Yes. And so imagine how bad that is too, where it's like, he got destroyed, all of that stuff. But even with that, it's like, you were sort of just like the person who caught the bullet. I was really speaking to the larger system, but I still destroyed you by saying that. So I think that's.
It does seem like a victory for the culture, though.
Yes.
And I think that's what everyone really is celebrating. It's like, we got him. Hey, we got him. It just seems like a victory for like the real. Because I mean, let's be real. When it comes to like music that sells and commercial success, Kendrick might be the last line of like artists that are like about something and have some substance to their music, but still can have commercial success. I don't know,
Yeah.
fellas, if y'all watching the BET Awards, but like, good God. Like I
did
thought the
not.
worst era of music was honestly like the mid 2000s to like maybe the like late 2010, like 2010s. Like D4L, whatever, you know, that like LMFAO. Like I thought that was like the worst we could get, but like, man, music is garbage nowadays. And I'm not even trying to be like, oh, it's not like the music we grew up with. No, it's objectively garbage.
Well, I
It's
mean,
just bad.
if you talk to high school students, they're listening to the music that we listen to.
But
You know what I'm
Nels, the
saying?
stuff that we listened to, like in that era too, it was bad. Like I'm not
No,
blaming
no,
them
no, no,
because
no, 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 no. Let me be clear. They're listening to 90s music.
oh, okay,
Like
okay.
they're that we literally listened to when we were their age. Like that is their they're like, no, they don't like the music that's out now. They like our music. They don't listen to that. Their jam is the 90s. So
yeah,
I agree. I agree.
no, it's a win for
But
the culture.
back to the video and back to the parents, or specifically back to the family seat walking. Because Mark, you brought it up, and I just have to add a little point here. So Drake mentioned that Kendrick put his hands on his lady. And so the fact that Kendrick's wife was in the video, and he don't really be bringing her out there like that. I think I seen her at an ESPYs once, and that was like essentially it. Had her out there in a wife beater. Like, first of all, like stoic, like they were taking a like an old school family portrait. And then she proceeds to sea-walk up and down on the mustard beat. And like she knows how to sea-walk. This isn't like
yeah. It wasn't like, okay, we're gonna teach you for the video.
Like Bow Wow.
No,
she was like, no, you terrorist. Like she knew exactly what she was doing. So this is her jam too. She clearly loves this song.
That's love. That's love.
Yo,
oh my goodness.
That's funny. And
walking in the name of love.
So two things I want to hit up real quick. One thing that Joe Budden said on his podcast, it was so funny when this song first came out. He's like, Drake, you better thank God in heaven it ain't HBCU season, because he's like, them bands are gonna tear this joint up.
Yo, and they already started. Yeah. Like I saw somebody practice. I saw somebody online, and they were doing it in the gym. So I'm like, it's already starting. But yeah,
this fall is about to be a show. It's about to be a show, and like, you know, I mean, dude, I've enjoyed Drake's music. I think a lot of people have.
No. Everyone has. I don't care. No, I don't. You're lying if you don't got a Drake song that you bop to. This man was the #1 rapper for 10 years. Mm-hmm. Nah, everybody got a Drake song they like. Anyways, Mark, please continue.
No. And it's crazy. It's just the way, like now, as you said, he just kept like, stop, he's already dead. You know, like, let's be real, fellas. When Push-Ups came out, people's eyebrows got up. They're like, oh, Drake still got it in him, right? And then like Kendrick did his thing. And dog, Family Matters might be Drake's best diss he's ever done. It might be. It's just, but like Kendrick right there, Meet the Grams. Like, I was like, ooh, because when I heard Family Matters, I was like, oh, this battle's got some legs. We're gonna be in here for a while. And then Meet the Grams came out, and I was just like, oh, like, close my computer. I was like, and then Mustard on the Beat. Again, he's already dead.
Stop. I knew it was over when I first heard Not Like Us. The first time I heard, I was like, this is it. We're done. This is over.
And like what's amazing is I feel like we got to see all of this play out in what feels like 3 weeks. Like,
yes.
Like, you know, whereas I feel like back in the day, disses were like, this person dissed him or her on this album. And then some months later, we hear, you know, their sort of rebuttal on the other album. This was like, no, in the span of like 3 weeks, we got like 10 songs. It feels like back and forth.
And you know who came out on top on all this? J. Cole. Bike riding J. Cole. he saw the writing on the wall. He was like, he's like, you can't beat Goku. You just can't. You don't have enough power. And Drake TN was like, no, I think I could do it. I think I could beat Goku.
You say Drake TN?
Yeah.
That's real
because he's not Vegeta. Like he's not.
That's
Vegeta.
Real disrespectful. I was gonna let Shannon brought it back up. I was like, Mark, yo, that Mark is mean as hell.
When they thought that third
Drake, he's
not
Vegeta.
Come on, bro.
Well, he's not Vegeta. He's probably not Krillin. Because like Krillin would have like called it quits a long time.
Dog, Drake is Goku. Do you know? It's just that Kendrick's Broly. That's what it is. He is the super villain. What are we talking about? Did you not see what he's been doing for the past month? Like, let me have this song. Now let me have a concert on Juneteenth. Now let me have a music video. All for a diss song. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
You know what it is? You know what it is? You know in Pokemon, when you're gonna go fight the Elite Four, and you find Blue, and he's like dead on the side. He's like, I couldn't win. That's Drake.
Yes.
Yes. He went to fight the Elite Four and just like got devastated.
That's exactly what happened. Yes. Whew. Anything else about Not Like Us? Before we go to the movie.
If anyone's seen Drake, the Canadian government is looking for him. He's probably like one of their biggest exports. So, I mean, I know it's fun and games, guys, but this man's life on the line. So if anyone's seen Drake, please reach out to your local authorities. Because
Drake, if I was Drake, this is exactly what Drake needs to do. Write a gospel song, be in the music video. That's number one. Number two, just write like 2 or 3 just like bangers. Don't be in it. Don't sing. Don't do anything. You could be on a background vocal, but write it for somebody else.
Yeah.
And just like be in this video for like a second or two. And then just have an R&B album.
Yeah.
Just have an R&B album. And like have it really be an R&B album. You know what I'm saying? We haven't had good R&B in a long time. Have like a real good R&B. Yes.
Confessions Drake album. And Take Care Part 2. There you go. Go in the studio.
Full Take Care.
Take Care
on
2.
One song. Rap on one. And if he does all that, he'll be okay.
He'll be all right.
Fine. He'll be fine.
But honestly, I don't know. This is Genosha what Kendrick has done to Drake.
If he does all that stuff, he'll be fine. He just can't rap like that again. He can't rap like the way he wants to. He can't do that ever again. No, that's all.
Yeah. Woo. I agree. And like you said, stay true to yourself. We all looked at you sideways anyway when it was like started from the bottom. Now we're here. It's like, I mean, you didn't start from the bottom. You were a child actor. And
we were very forgiving because it was a banger, though. We were like, we were like, Negro, you ain't stuff, but like this joint kind of tight, though.
So stay true to yourself. Rap about, I don't know, money. Maybe do something that ain't been done. Rap about, I don't know, how tough it is to be half Black and Jewish and being raised in Toronto.
I don't know. Rap about real estate.
No. We should stop rapping. No conscious rap. No describing things in Canada. I
think he should just sing everything. He should be like, I'm making oatmeal. Like just sing your whole life.
If the second half of his career is just singing, Drake will have another 10 years. I assure you. But if the second he tries to rap again,
we gotta find him.
Don't even gotta say nothing. Society will shoot him down. I assure you.
And just we could wrap it up, but I would just hate like anytime Drake gets in an argument with someone from this point on, like, yo, man, you stupid. Oh yeah, you whatever, man. And then like also like they not like us. They're not like like all you gotta. He's probably A minor and like and then what are you gonna say? Like what? You just gotta walk away. Like that's devastating. He made everyone's come back to you a catchy song.
That's bad.
And the song's about you being a pedophile. Good God, man! And everyone's just like
a pedophile colonizer.
Yeah.
and
That's
everyone's just
bad.
having a blast. Everyone's just having a good old time.
The West Coast
Barbecuing.
is celebrating every time the song about you being a colonizing pedophile plays.
And they're just having a
They're
blast.
like, yo,
The song about you being a colonizing pedophile, high school proms, graduation party,
Kids' Choice
weddings,
Awards.
the Kids' Choice Award.
There will be award-winning dissertations, college level courses, and like even minors probably. No pun intended. College minors that will be made to study this and dissect it, and this will go down in the annals of history.
Y'all ready to pivot?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So let's go to the other side of LA.
Yeah.
So going to Beverly Hills. So fellas, I want to give y'all some not history but context for Beverly Hills Cop Axel F. And then we can like talk a bit about the cast. I do want to spend some time talking about Eddie Murphy's career, just a tidbit, and then we can talk about the movie. So Beverly Hills Cop Axel F came out in, like a couple weeks ago, like 2024. But it is a couple things about the movie. So like they've been trying to make this movie for years. The guys who actually did the Bad Boys movie, like the last two Bad Boys movies, they were actually on the hook to do this movie, and it didn't work out.
Yo, it's funny you say that because like I got that feel.
Yeah, you did, right? Yeah, so did I.
Okay,
yeah, it's not them though. But I mean, that's kind of telling. Like these are essentially going to be the guys to relaunch like franchises. So Beverly Hills Cop, the first one came out in 1984. Then the second one came out in 1987. And since the last Beverly Hills Cop, 30 years and 40 years from the original.
My goodness, 40 years.
You know what I'm saying? And like, so the fact that we're even talking about this is a huge accomplishment. 40 years from the original. No shade of Ghostbusters. Anyway, so here is the cast. We have Eddie Murphy, who plays Axel Foley, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who played Detective Abbott, Taylor Page, who played Jane Saunders. And real quick, a couple things about, real quick about Taylor Page. This is she's been in a few movies before. She was in a TV show on VH1 called like Hit the Floor. I don't know much about it. That was back when VH1 had was trying to make TV shows because they didn't know what to do. They're going through an identity crisis. She was also in a movie called Zola, which was about a crazy Twitter story that a sister pulled out talking about her friend who flew them to Florida, and she was out there tricking in Florida and almost got shot by a pimp. It was a wild story on Twitter, and she made the movie for that story. She's about to have a real career. And I want to go back to the daughter later on, but the other folks in the movie were Judge Reinhold back as Rosewood, John Ashton as Taggart, Paul Reiser comes back as Jeffrey the friend. And I never know this brother's name, but what was that TV show called? Perfect Strangers.
Perfect Strangers.
Yeah, I don't never I think it's Bronson something.
Bronson,
he came back.
Funny thing is, Perfect Strangers led to Family Matters. Family Matters is a spinoff of Perfect Strangers. Y'all didn't know that?
Who was
Harriet was the door lady,
elevator. She was the
elevator lady of the where they lived, and you would see Carl and her. The Carl would show up every now and then, and so Family Matters is the spinoff to Perfect Strangers.
And Family Matters was bigger than Perfect Strangers.
Urkel was phenomenal.
Fascinating. Last but not least, Kevin Bacon was in the movie as Captain Grant. So those are the cast. Real quick, y'all, I have a question about the daughter. I find the daughter fascinating because we get no hints of Axel ever having a family in any of the previous three movies. I think at one point in the movie he said he was celibate. So take that for what it is. But the daughter's name is Jane Sanders. I obviously think she picked Sanders because of Barry Sanders in Detroit. They didn't mention Barry Sanders, but that was like, why else is your name Sanders? I think I know who the mom is.
Okay.
In Beverly Hills Cop 3, my family owned Beverly Hills Cop 3.
I know where you're going.
The actress that he ends up walking away with is Therese Randall.
The only black woman in this whole franchise before
this entire franchise, besides the daughter. Besides the daughter. She plays the mom in Bad Boy. So she's Martin's wife in Bad Boy. Her name in Beverly Hills Cop 3, because I had to look it up, is Janice. Her first name is Janice. So in my mind, I think Janice is the mom. They moved back to LA they moved to LA. She's from LA because that's where she was when they split. So that's why it made more sense for them to go to LA and
back
to be
to
in
LA.
Beverly Hills
Yeah.
After Axel.
That makes sense. And she,
so that's
again, besides Axel, she's the only other black person in this.
And after going to Beverly Hills 3 times, he ain't landed. He's not gonna marry a sister in Detroit. He's clearly going to get with somebody in Beverly Hills. He go there every summer. So yeah, I highly doubt he was just gonna get settled with a local person in Detroit.
Yeah. No. Cool. So y'all just want to get into it? Thoughts on the movie?
Yeah. Well, can we talk about Eddie Murphy and then we can go?
Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm gonna name y'all the first 13 movies Eddie Murphy was in.
Jeez. Okay.
And there's a reason once I go through the list.
Hit after hit after hit. Let's go.
48 Hours, Trading Places, Beverly Hills Cop, The Golden Child, Beverly Hills Cop 2, Raw, Coming to America, Harlem Nights, Another 48 Hours, Boomerang, Beverly Hills Cop 3, Vampire in Brooklyn, and The Nutty Professor.
Oh, it still like made money. Like Another 48 Hours is not as good as 48 Hours, but it still did its thing. Boomerang's probably the worst movie. Huh?
Another 48 Hours is some people's favorite movie.
Oh yeah.
Another. It's not even as good as 48 Hours. It is some people's favorite movie.
That whole list, the 2 worst movies on there are Boomerang and Beverly Hills Cop 3.
And Boomerang is some people's favorite movie. We got John Witherspoon because of Boomerang.
Yeah.
His entire career is because of Boomerang. You know what I'm saying? So like, has there ever been a run like this?
Not that many, but it's more condensed. But I was watching something the other night. Ace Ventura, The Mask, and Dumb and Dumber all came out in the same year.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. I remember. That was ridiculous.
Like, that's a crazy run when it comes to like movies and comedy. Like, so I don't know if you could compare it. Like, that's a decent.
Are you sure it was Dumb and Dumber or was it Cable Guy? I don't think it mattered.
No, it was Ace Ventura, Mask, and Dumb and Dumber all the same year.
That's ridiculous.
Like, so I
think he followed that up with Liar Liar. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah. And that's Cable impressive. Guy. Yeah. It's
on a random note, just what came to mind was taxes. I was like, that had to be a crazy tax year. I don't know how much it took out, but you had more money than you knew what to do with. Continue.
The government was celebrating harder than Jim Carrey.
Uncle Sam, yoink. Nah, man, dude. And like Nels, that takes you into what, the mid 90s? Nutty Professor was like what, 97, 98?
We're talking 82 to 96.
Woo! Nutty Professor was big, dude. Like, I remember that being big. I remember it wasn't good, but I remember everyone being excited for Beverly Hills Cop 3.
Yeah.
You know?
We owned it on VH. The West Africans owned. The West Africans love Eddie Murphy, number 1. And then number 2, we owned all 3 Beverly Hills Cops. I don't know if this is just my family or it's West Africans in general, but please believe I've been to many houses that had all 3 Beverly Hills Cops on VHS and Beta.
I think a lot of black families own these movies. But like Beverly Hills Cop, like, you know, it made this man a movie star.
Yeah, absolutely.
A worldwide phenomenon. You know what's and Do the Right Thing. when Mookie's talking to oh my God, I forget the actor's name, but they're in the pizza shop. He's
Yeah,
like,
Sal.
who's your favorite actor? And he says Eddie Murphy. Like, because that was just like, you know how there was a time where you like, fellas, we know because we grew up in that. There was a time where you could find anyone on the street and be like, who's your favorite artist? And 7 out of 10 times it'd be Michael Jackson.
Yep.
Like there was a time where
Favorite
you can ask
basketball player, you would get Michael Jordan.
exactly like there was a time where you can ask people who was a favorite actor, and more than likely it might have been Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
He was unstoppable, dude. He was a force.
Raw came out in 1987. And
Jeez.
I'm just gonna name this to y'all. I've seen Raw multiple times. They played it and it wasn't like it was just played on TV. People owned Raw and played it at their house on a regular when we were growing up. This is like 10, 15 years after Raw came out. Like, I don't know if any stand-ups like had power just on like the stand-up, just like on the single VHS stand-up like that. So like I mean, Eddie Murphy is generational, yo.
Yeah.
And I think folks really underappreciate him because while we just listed the first 13 movies, we didn't talk about the last 13 movies that Eddie Murphy's done. It has been a swift and steep decline, but I mean, you cannot, man. I've never seen a career start like that before. I mean, Mark, you brought like good one. I think there's a few outliers, but 13 movies that have had a cultural impact on society and two stand-ups that are legendary.
He didn't do it. He's the Lauryn Hill comedy.
Years.
He's the Lauryn Hill comedy. What else? What other stand-up has this man done after those two?
Raw and Delirious? No, he hasn't.
Yeah. And it's like, does he even need to? Like, Nels, you were saying, like the generation. I don't know any of the stand-up. I think the closest you can maybe say is maybe Killing Them Softly, but like it don't kill. Like there was like a 5 to 6 year like Kill 'Em Softly, Kill 'Em Softly, but I can't think of any other stand-ups that just are generational like that.
You can name Killing Them Softly, Bigger and Blacker, The Pimp Chronicles, Laugh at My Pain. Like you can name some like legendary stand-up like specials that have been played a few times. None of them light a candle to how big Raw was. Yeah. All of them combined probably will maybe touch the hem of the garment of how big Raw was. Like Raw was in households like blockbuster movies. You know what I'm saying? Like Ghostbusters, Beverly Hills Cop, Raw would be in a line on the shelf of most households. You know what I'm saying? So like I don't know what special we've ever seen that big like that before.
Because I feel like it also, I mean, its existence is what helped give birth to those, because if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it like Raw and Delirious, they were like, I'm going to pay to go to the movie theater. Like, I'm going to watch an action movie or something like that, but I'm going to watch these in the movie theater. Like, you would buy a ticket to see it. And I'm like, back then, had there ever been a stand-up that was like, probably not, right? That is like, this is a movie. You're going to the movie theater on a Friday night to watch Raw or Delirious. Like,
It was genius. It was ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Really ahead of its time.
Yeah. And obviously that broke barriers and, other people tried it too.
And then Nels, even like you said, the other 13, I know there's a decline, but I guarantee you there's some $500 million, close to $1 billion Shrek. The Shrek. Eddie Murphy has to do nothing else in his life but play donkey.
Mm-hmm.
And his great grandchildren are set because of donkey.
Just because of donkey. And there's another Shrek movie coming out, by the way. Shrek 5 is in development. So yes.
Like what else? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm trying to think what else. The Clumps.
Yeah, I mean, he did Dr. Dolittle. That was in the second half of his career. You know what I'm saying?
About Dr. Dolittle.
He's like, I mean, he made the sequel to Coming to America. He made Dolomite, the Dolomite movie that was really good.
He was in Dreamgirls.
Dreamgirls. He was nominated for Dreamgirls. Like, he's had some things come up that have been good. I mean, but like it does. I just gotta reiterate, it doesn't light a candle on what he's done in the first 13 movies of his career. It's ridiculous, and I don't think I've ever seen it before. The last thing I got, and we can talk about the movie. 41 million views in 5 days. I don't. Y'all clearly didn't. 41 million views in 5 days. I don't know if it's a big. I'm sure Stranger Things has done bigger and some other things, but 41 million in 5 days is impressive.
This is big because Netflix never shares numbers. They never share numbers unless they're ready to flex. So this is huge. This is huge.
It has been number one on Netflix since it came out.
Yeah.
Still number one on Netflix.
I was just going to say, like, I'm pulling up Netflix now. And yeah, as I go to it, top 10 movies in the US today, it is number one. Axel F is number one. Jeez. And I'm like, I don't know how everybody else's stuff looks and the algorithm and stuff. But for me, when I usually see a movie as number one, that lasts for about 3 days or something like that. Something else overtakes. This has been a solid 2 weeks at least. Like, you know, which is wild.
And I want to get into that, why I think that's happening. Okay. Oh, you want to? Well, I'll get into it right now. I think this movie hit something that we're missing. Like, these type of movies, we used to get them annually, like these cop, not dramas, but these cop action movies,
like action comedies.
These action comedies where police just stepped over their boundaries and did what they had to do, and it ended with 2 or 3 guys with handguns shooting a building of guys with assault rifles. But it was like there was just something. It was America, man. It was the summer. It was the summer jam. It was the Not Like Us of 1991 and 92 and 93. You know what I mean? And we don't get that anymore. Like, and everything's a spectacle. Like, every Marvel movie now is like they're going to destroy the whole universe. Well, that's not interesting because they're obviously not going to destroy the whole universe except Thanos. You know, and like, you know, that was interesting.
He did it. He showed what would happen if he could do it.
But you know, most of these we don't get theatrical like cop action movies anymore. It's like, you know, a TV series or whatever. And like, this is straight to Netflix, but it has the feel of one of those like 1996 summer, you know, hey, let's go to the movies. Oh, let's go see Axel. You know, it just has that feel to it. I think people miss that.
Yeah. Yes. And I'm like, I agree because as you're saying that, I mean, it makes me think of the most recent Bad Boys movie, but even that was different than this, where like they were both great movies. I enjoyed them, but I think maybe because this one is even more comedy, and you know, but it's a different feel. They're both buddy cop movies, action comedy, but like you're saying, yeah, this one it just hits something different, and I'm not quite sure, you know, what it is.
I think people love this character.
Mm-hmm.
They love Axel. Like they love Eddie Murphy as his character. You know, I don't know about you fellas. For me, when I see some actors, like they're always going to be that one character. You know what I mean? Like no matter what they're in, what they do, they're always that. Like the dude who was in Better Call Saul, I forget his name, who plays Saul's brother. He's always going to be the dude in Short Circuit 2 to me. Fred, you know what I mean? Like, and I know that's an obscure reference, but like
it really is. It really is.
Or Joe Pesci to me is always going to be Marv. Or was he Harry? Harry, I forget.
Harry.
You know what I mean?
Harry, like in Home Alone.
And I think for a lot of people, that's how they feel about Eddie Murphy. He's always Axel. No matter what he's in, he's Axel Foley to them.
So, like, Mark, to your point, like, and Shannon, to your point, I wouldn't call this a buddy cop movie. Like, it is like cop centered, but like, I think this is something, Mark, to your point, we got all the time, but it was like wisecracking cop that like crosses boundaries and like saves the day, even though he's a tomfool. Like, but he's like smooth at the same time. Like this used to be a thing, and it was like just insert whoever the hot actor was to do it. And it's just that Eddie Murphy killed it.
Yeah,
in
he
like
created
his third
this.
time at bat.
Yeah, he created the
like
genre.
Redefined like this genre.
He
You know
he even said, I heard him in something one time. He said before Beverly Hills Cop, cops were serious. Cops didn't tell jokes. Cops didn't joke around. It was like, think about it. It was like Dirty Harry, you know? And then after Beverly Hills Cop, like we got like Lethal Weapons and Rush Hour, and you know what I mean? Like cops were, people wanted to like have fun watching cop movies after Beverly Hills Cop.
Damn, that's a good point.
And this movie was almost that, because do you know who was, let me see, I guess who was on the short list, or who was pegged at first as they were going after to be the head, who would have been Eddie Murphy?
Who?
Sylvester Stallone. They would have had Sylvester Stallone would have been like the main character. I don't know what happened. Maybe maybe he got another role, whatever. But that's why something was mentioned where, if you notice in all the Beverly Hills Cops, they always do some type of like Sylvester Stallone joke. Like even if they don't say his name, it might be like Rambo. They'll say something about like a Rambo knife or something like
his
that.
brother was in the third movie. That is wild.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. And
this would have been Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It would have been a mediocre. It would have been a mediocre action comedy.
Yeah. And so again, like look at the universe, like in some other universe, I guess Eddie Murphy declines this and is in Ghostbusters, and then I guess Sylvester Stallone is this role, and it's just like, and what happened?
And there's a universe where Eddie Murphy does Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. And we are talking about Stop or My Mom Will Shoot #4 because it's that funny.
Wow, that's nuts.
Oh my goodness. Fascinating. I did not know that. That is and they talk about the Rambo knife in
in this movie.
Yeah.
Wow. Life is funny.
Life is funny. Why was this movie good, y'all? Because I personally liked it. I thought gangs back together. I chuckled. I was like, Axel, you are ridiculous. There were many moments where I was like, is Axel related to Mike Lowry? Because I was just like, chaos ensues. But damn it, you love him. Mike, you don't love Mike. You're like, Mike, you have a problem.
At least with Axel, like he doesn't want chaos. It just happens to happen around him. Mike Larry embraces. Like Mike Larry is like licking his gun.
Mike needs it.
Crazy.
Mike is searching for it. He's like, I gotta make it happen. How do we just turn it up one more notch?
Mike sees a family having a picnic, feeding ducks, and he just like cocks his gun. He's just like,
something's got to blow up over here.
One of them selling drugs. And Martin's like, what? Like what?
And Axel's kind of just like, oops. But I stopped the bad guys.
Yeah.
I feel like his distraction, it makes me think of Will Smith's dad. And he's like, you think I wanted this? It just happened. And I'm like, that is Axel Foley's. He's like, look, I wasn't trying to cause distraction. Sorry about your, again, taxes. Sorry about the city tax bracket or whatever now, because everybody's taxes are higher. Because I destroyed everything.
Nels, I think this movie was successful for a couple reasons. One, Eddie Murphy, like it felt like he never stopped being this character. Like he really fit right back into the Axel role. I don't know, it's like he put on that Detroit coat and just it just felt like Axel. And like, when we have some of these legacy sequels, the main character just doesn't feel like they did in the previous movies. But like this feels like Axel. He's just an older man. He still talks like him, acts like him. Like there was nothing that Eddie Murphy did in this movie that I was like, Axel wouldn't have done that. So I think that's one reason. The other reason, I think it has the feel of a 90s movie. Like if this movie came out in 1996, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. It just really fits in there. It feels like of that time, and it's the movie's like, hey, we can have fun. not everything has to be John Wick. John Wick's awesome, but not everything has to be Training Day or John Wick. Like we can have some fun at the movies, and I think people want that, you know?
But do you think like it seems like they were able to do that, even though they brought up a whole bunch of old dudes. Like Eddie Murphy is old. Judge Reinhold is old. And man, come on, Taggart is old, bro. That man wasn't even in the third movie.
They embraced it. They embraced it. That's the thing. Because Taggart's his whole like MO this whole movie is like, God, I'm old. I'm so old and I'm dying. Like his whole lines throughout the movie, he's like, what do you want from me? I'm old. Like, and, you know, and so I think, and it's funny you bring that up because when I was watching this movie, I was like, I've never seen a movie work harder to keep its lead from running and doing anything physical. You know, anytime Axel would need to run, there's a convenient vehicle nearby.
Yes.
Or anytime in another movie, Axel would fight a guy, someone else steps in or something happens. I was like, yo, they are doing everything they can to keep Eddie Murphy from doing anything physical. And so I think it works out, like, because we don't want to see a 60-year-old man punching 20-year-old dudes in the and like, oh yeah, he beat him. Like, nah. But then, like, you know, if he works around that, it's, you know, it's more believable.
Yeah.
Like Tom Cruise would never.
Oh no, but Tom Cruise is Shannon. Tom Cruise could be 90 in a movie, backflipping and drop kicking dudes. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's on brand. That's on brand.
Yeah, he's gonna have that sprinting scene. Like no matter what the movie, he's gonna have that scene when he's sprinting.
96, he gonna be booked. Yes. Yep.
I will say, like, so I enjoyed the movie too. I had a good time with it. I want to ask y'all, what do y'all think about the dynamic with Joseph Gordon-Levitt and the Jane character? Because I feel like you could lose either one. I feel like I feel like this is what I think. I think originally the script, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character was Axel's son, and for whatever reason, they like changed it up because I don't know. I feel like when he's with his daughter, it's like, okay, that's great. That's a good dynamic. Oh, he's going to go on this action adventure with his daughter. But then they just throw Joseph Gordon-Levitt in the mix. And I'm like, now they're on an action adventure movie. I'm like, I don't know. It feels repetitive and it feels like it took away from either or. And it feels like he was supposed to go on a journey with both of them instead of just one of them.
I think you needed he needed to like follow a cop around, or he needed like a Beverly Hills Cop to mess with him and to like eventually be friends with him, because that is all the other Beverly Hills Cops. And you couldn't have Rosewood because Rosewood was captured, and you couldn't have Taggart because Taggart old as hell. So I guess you have like the new person there, and it would have been I really like the dynamic with him and his daughter. Like I would have been cool with that versus Joseph Gordon-Levitt. But I didn't mind it because it was Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Like I was just like, I was a fan of him, and I liked I like watching it. But if anything, I would have got rid of that one.
Yeah. Honestly, I thought I thought their chemistry was like okay until that helicopter scene. Oh, yeah. And like dog, they both like it was on like when he said we were still this helicopter, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt's like, and then everybody's like, what the hell are you on about? like they both were just, I was like, yo, they are cooking off of each other. Their chemistry was great in that whole helicopter scene.
Yeah, I agree. That was one of the best parts of the movie.
Yeah, it was my favorite part. When they're going to the Beverly Hills headquarters and Taggart's out there, he's like, Axel, you stole a helicopter, and he's pointing at Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He's like, I don't need it.
And even then, just how bad was he at flying there? Because remember, like they're trying to get away with Captain Grant, Kevin Bacon. He's driving beside them in a car, and he's like, what are they doing?
He was able to shoot and hit the helicopter. Either Kevin Bacon's character is an amazing to be that old and still shooting helicopters off, or Joseph Gordon, like he's that bad of a pilot. Mm-hmm. I think he went through like some stressful situation and he just got afraid of flying after that. But Nah, it looked bad. It looked bad. Like that man shouldn't be touching the helicopter ever again.
I love oh man. Oh, Kevin Bacon. So I was like, man, this movie is not hiding the fact this man is the bad guy. This movie, it was just like a neon sign. It's like, like right here. This is the villain. Hey, everyone. Like, you don't got to do any work. This is the bad guy right here. And I was like, man, that's like, why did they make it so obvious? And then I thought about every other Beverly Hills Cop movie.
Every other one.
It's never been a mystery who the bad guy was. It's like, this is the bad guy, everyone. Like, we're gonna just follow him around.
And half the movie is Axel just messing with them.
Messing with the bad guy. That is it.
It's like, I know you did it. I'm gonna find some clues to take you down.
I'm gonna
arrest you. You can't. Like, that's the movie. It works though. The rest of it works.
Yeah. Oh man. But not yet.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say,
go ahead, Shannon.
I feel like 15, 20 minutes into it, like you're saying, it's not hiding it. He's hanging out at a party at the bar with the bad guys. And so it's just like, that's it. Clearly
that's him. That's the man. Nah,
go ahead.
But yeah, man, it felt like a good go back. It just felt like a good, like, it felt like, man, they don't make them like this anymore, you know?
So I got one more question for y'all. How come this worked? And in my opinion, Coming to America sequel did not work. Did y'all watch the sequel to Coming to America?
Yeah.
I can answer that question. I don't know, Shannon, do you wanna
I mean, this is just riffing for real, but I mean, partly I think because of some of the pieces that we mentioned before, like, you know, this one, they leaned into the things, they leaned into, you know, cops getting older, leaned into, like, my attitude is different now, like slightly different. Like talking about Axel Foley, where it's like he's still who he is, but he's like, I'm older now, so I'm not maybe rushing into the fight or, you know, whatever. So yeah, for me, I mean, I think it's some of those things where they lean into it a little more. But yeah, that's my simplest thing. But other than that, I will say this one did work better than Coming to America 2. Go ahead, Mark.
The answer is Beverly Hills Cop 3. Because you can only go up from there. Even in this movie, when Joseph Gordon-Levitt's going over like Axel's rap sheet, he's like, "Oh, 1993, that wasn't your best work." Like, this movie's literally saying, like, yeah, we know the last one sucked. So like, you can only go up from like part 3. Coming to America might be a perfect movie.
Yes,
it was a cultural phenomenon. It's the Not Like Us of movies. Like, it is for the culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a culture hit. It's like a black. Are there any white people besides
Eddie Murphy plays one?
Oh yeah, he plays the Jewish guy. And the man wants to be called Muhammad Ali.
And Louis Anderson.
Louis Anderson, right?
Yeah.
There might be the only 2 white people in Coming to America, and it was a hit that was unheard of back then. You know what I'm saying? So like, that movie meant a lot to the culture. So the expectations for that sequel were never going to be matched. It wasn't going to happen. Like, they should have left it alone, you know. But from Beverly Hills Cop 3, you can only go up from there.
That's a good point. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Because I was not pleased. I was not pleased with Coming to America. And so I came in this one like, man, I hope they figure it out, because I don't know if it's Eddie or the story or what. And then I watched it and I was like, they figured it out. And you know what, Mark? I think you're right. I think it's because we love Axel Foley. That is a great character. And Eddie did again. And I don't know if y'all know this, fellas, but Netflix said they're going to make a 5th Beverly Hills Cop movie.
And see, this is what I hate. Because I enjoyed the movie, but like, dog, the last sequel of this movie was made 30 years ago. No, just the first one was made 40 years ago. This is what happens when capitalism gets involved in art. There's no, like, why try to make something new? This is why we're having our 6th Grand Theft Auto game come out in like so many years. Because why innovate when we could just repackage? Huh?
Can't wait. Can't wait.
I mean, it looks amazing. I'm not gonna lie. It looks amazing.
Yo, a random just throwing this in here, as we're saying, yeah, just remaking. I don't even have a PlayStation 5, but I am excited to watch videos of NCAA football 25.
Facts.
I am excited to see that.
Yes. Well, I guess that's part of the reason that they're gonna make a Beverly Hills Cop.
You haven't seen,
because there's a generation of us that are like, oh yeah, you're gonna bring that back. Yeah, I paid money for it. So there you have it.
I mean, and fellas, this is what's happening. Like I said before, we are millennials. We are just as bad as boomers when it comes to our nostalgia. You know, when we were growing up, it was like I don't know how many movies were coming out about Vietnam or the 60s, you know, Forrest Gump and all this stuff. And we are just as bad. Like, we cannot let go of our nostalgia.
Oh, bro, no, we are worse.
We might be worse. we cannot let, I mean, but then the thing is, when you get things like this, when you get things like X-Men 97, it's like,
yeah,
keep it coming. Like, who am I like keep it coming. If you can make it good and fresh, keep it coming. But it's like, there's something about it that I kind of breaks my heart, that like we will not allow like new ventures in cinema or TV. We're like, nope, regurgitate. Where's that Tailspin reboot? Where's that? You know, like,
the boomers.
We're the whole reason Disney Plus exists. Like, it is our fault.
Exactly. We're the target audience. The boomers liked the 60s, liked watching the films of the 60s. We need it, Mark. That's why it's worse. It's like the millennials like, I need a 90s reference now.
And there's a reason behind that. The boomers grew up in prosperity. They grew up in a booming America, a booming economy. They got houses and stuff. We live in a world that is on fire constantly. So I can understand people needing to go back to their nostalgia. Right now, compared to the 90s, paradise. Oh, man. Paradise. Like a simpler time, fellas. A simpler, better time.
Well, y'all, anything else?
I got a quick question. So I know we haven't been able to give deeper thought to this, but really quick, we would be remiss if we didn't mention obviously the theme song. I don't know. Dun, 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 dun. So, would you say that is the most iconic theme song for, I guess for a movie? Or if there's something else, is there something else that comes to mind? Because I think of like RoboCops as well, and all of that.
It's up there, Shannon. But I would say Star Wars, Back to the Future, or Ghostbusters.
It's Darth Vader's.
The Imperial March,
gotta be
there. If there's a character to a song, that is number one, and everyone else is you can figure that out. But Darth Vader's thing is top. Now Axel's up there. Axel's up there. Cause like that song to this movie, that is up there, but nah, I gotta say Darth Vader's one is number one.
And it captured the 80s, it captured the feel of the movie. It's great. But it's in the discussion, but it's not number one.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll come back in the discussion for number two. We have a Kirk. Where would it be? Okay.
All right, y'all. Anything else?
No, it was a good time, man. I want to see more, not necessarily sequels, but more of this like the Bad Boys movies, and this. One thing I will give Bad Boys, like what's the last one? Ride or Die.
Yeah.
And For Life over this. They're doing more innovative stuff. Like I don't know if y'all, like Shannon, you said you've seen it. Like some of the camera angles and some of the shooting frames and dynamics. I'm like, yo, this is a movie.
Yeah.
Like this is a big time movie. And this movie played it pretty straight up. Is like put a camera in front of Eddie Murphy, have him riff, which is fine. But I gotta give that to the Bad Boys sequels. They're like taking it up a notch in that aspect.
Yeah. Just mentioning that, like we say, the whole Will Smith shooting scene where the behind the scenes, Will Smith he has a camera strapped to him, and so he's basically doing the shooting and like sort of flipping the camera at the same time.
So it's and like then first person shooter. And then it like flips back to him, and then Shannon, I mean, spoiler, but that scene where Martin's at the wedding and he
Yes, I was just about to. Yes,
yeah, like that was dope.
I just saw that earlier today, like how they actually did that, and I'm like, that is dope. That he was on a whole contraption that caused him to fall at 90 degrees, and
it was really well done, really well done.
Well, thank you, fellas, for sharing your thoughts, and thank you, Pop Cult. Thank you for listening. We have a new episode every month. You can find us on all social media at Pop Cult Parent, POPCULT PARENT. Visit us at www.popcultparent.com. Become a member of the Pop Cult at our Patreon, patreon.com/popcultparent, where you can see all of our full video episodes. Email us at popcultparent@gmail.com. Don't forget to rate us, review, and subscribe. And as always, join the cult. Peace.
He a fan.
we out.
Ricky, he is sticking on guy.